Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Kyle Wright 425 podcast. I am your host, Kyle Wright, and as always, I am joined by my older brother, Eric.
Hello.
And tonight, we are going to talk about beer. Now, let's be clear about something. We take beer very, very seriously around here. However, Eric has taken this to a whole new level.
Oh, we take it serious around here.
So this is not a joke. This is legit. This is I believe that's supposed to be a fishbowl. I think it's it's an aquarium of some kind.
It's fancy as fuck right now.
Now let me be clear. I'm very aware that this episode's probably going to get demonetized, and I am completely okay with that because this is legendary. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. It's beautiful.
Ooh. Yeah. So let's be clear. In here tonight.
Are you struggling? Or you got it? Okay.
No, I just didn't want to hit the mic. So right here we have 6. Count them 16 ounces. That's right.
It's massive. It's insane.
It is. So for the Heeries still.
I forgot that's what we called them, the Heeries. Yeah.
We can't forget about them.
I'm sorry. I've been a little stressed.
I'm still presenting this like it's Simba or something.
I would like to thank the Academy.
But just so you guys know, this actually will hold 12 beers.
We did the math the other night, with the floor ounces and stuff with how much that what was it? We took a
growler that was 64 ounces.
Yep.
I filled it up twice and it had
with water. We didn't waste beer. Yeah. So let's be clear.
But I still had about this much left. I'm sorry for the people that can't see it. So I guess.
Oh yeah. Let's we should describe to people on Spotify what they're seeing, or what we're seeing right now is that this is essentially the perfect explanation for it is Mom stopped by because she was dropping something off earlier, and I showed her a picture of it with it full or with it or partially full. She got a huge kick out of it, but she said that actually looks like a really giant brandy glass.
That's exactly what I think it is. I think I don't know that it's necessarily for that.
It's for a giant. It is inhumanly huge. That is a lot of beer.
I'm pretty sure this is the most beer I've ever held at once.
Now, let's be clear about something. He's enjoying his drink, and I am going to be enjoying Aquafina tonight. Not a sponsor, but yeah, that's gonna be fun. Keep the beer under wraps. We don't need to let them know that it was a brand that we can't talk about.
My buddy Keith Stone was here.
Yes, that's who it was. It was his friend.
He was cheap.
$3.79 to be exact.
Yeah. For the sake of this
6 rounds.
Yeah, for the sake of this argument, that's what I went with. But
oh god, it's Keystone Light. It's great.
No.
Now,
so what I'm gonna attempt. Heeries and YouTubies. I don't know.
Viewies. Heeries and viewies.
There we go.
There you go. That's we are
attempt
fine with either
to drink this by the end of the podcast.
You neglected to share that information with me.
I know.
So I don't know. Is this supposed to? Oh my god.
Here we go. Let's go.
I think the
beer.
Okay, this is the top 10 legendary beer facts to get you drunk off knowledge. Beer, the ice cold, hoppy, golden mug of deliciousness that serves as a universal symbol of happiness. By the way, this is going to be in the link in the description below if you want to follow along or if you want to read the article. This was actually a lot of fun. I can't remember the site because I didn't print up on the top, but the link will be in the description if you want to.
You went old school with paper.
Oh yeah, because this is why. Because look how many papers there are here for this article.
How many papers?
Yeah, and this is only 10 different legendary beer facts, and this is how many papers there are.
I might have to sit like this the whole time.
Possibly. If you sit back, that could get dangerous.
Man, I didn't really think this through.
That's every time that he has filled that thing up, I'm like, please do not spill it. That's all that I'm asking.
It's quite heavy when it's all the way full. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, it just means that you just got to drink more. So imagine your piss on break. It's going to be awesome. All right. Now,
I might not even make it.
So, okay, where was I? It is the one true artifact that binds all of humanity together as it is the only thing prevalent in some form in all cultures that has truly survived the test of time. Flavor, satisfaction, hops, molasses, and yeast are not the only thing the beautiful beverage is full of. However, it is also chock full of history. While a lot of beer history is fairly well known, there are still a myriad of fun facts that remain hidden from the casual beer buff. From beer worshippers to healthy diets and George Washington's legendary liver, here are 10 fun facts every beer drinker needs to know.
Let me hear it.
Starting off with number 10.
Sorry, that was strictly just because it's a beer one, guys. I'm not trying to be gross.
This is more of a looser episode.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is fun. So number 10, there is a goddess of beer.
What is her name?
Yes, you read that. You read that white. Oh my god! I forgot you were drinking. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was
You
close.
read that white.
Oh, God. That was close. Fuck. Right.
Oh,
I would have spilled
man,
like,
we're off to a hot start.
that would have been like 8 cents spilled.
Oh god, this is horrible. Okay, let's try this again. Yes, you read that right. Way back in ancient Mesopotamia, beer was regularly brewed according to researchers. Since worshiping of various deities was common during that time, it would make sense that there would be a god or goddess for almost everything.
Right.
The goddess of beer is called, now I'm probably going to ruin this or completely brutalize this, but Ninkasi, it's Ninkasi or Ninkasi or whatever.
Sure.
Also spelled, and it's got an alternate spelling, which I'm not going to go through.
She was the beer bitch.
I think she prefers to be called beer goddess.
Same thing.
All right. Well, oh my God. No, we do not equate either. No, let's be clear. So
Loose episode.
researchers have uncovered a great many ancient texts from Mesopotamia, many of which mention making, brewing, and drinking beer numerous times. So as it stands to reason that she was an extremely popular goddess. Unfortunately, no visual representations such as drawing statues, etc., have ever been recovered to give face to the giver of the sweet hoppy nectar into this world. However, I'm sure if you put on your beer goggles and look at the closest girl to you, you'll get an idea as to what she looks like.
Dude, this was probably her glass.
Probably. That would make a lot of sense. Do we have a goddess artifact in our house?
I'm like Indiana Jones.
Don't go that far. Okay. No, sorry, that was
Fuck you. I'm Indiana Jones.
no, that was pretty mean. No, go ahead. No, please keep drinking. You're fine. So
You're ruining everything.
number 9. I can't. You were seriously drinking.
And hold on. I wanted to say something that I figured out last night. There's several ways you can hold this.
Oh my God.
First one.
I'm just gonna put this away for a second. No, please. I want to hear this.
The first one, the Vulcan.
The Vulcan. All right, show them. Okay.
In
Okay.
between.
Please do not drop that trying to demonstrate this.
Why do you think I have the other hand on it?
I don't know. I think it might crack or something. I'm just freaking
Ben.
out.
Sophisticated man hold. Index finger.
Oh my God. You've really gone through this.
The feminine.
Okay. Now that scares me because it's like your pinky's not that strong.
Oh, it's strong.
Bro, he's literally holding this thing between his. Okay.
I have the force.
So the first one was the Vulcan. He's holding it in between his, his
Vulcan is the most sturdy.
See, that makes sense because I'm getting into how it makes sense. Oh my God. Now, basically what I'm
It's like
saying.
palming a basketball.
For anybody that's not watching, listening on
I don't know if they can see
Spotify,
that.
this is he's basically putting it in between each finger and
I think they kind of
holding the
figured.
weight.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
But my preferred technique is thumb all underneath here. See, that's what I kept trying to avoid with the side hand
oh my God.
where you cusp and help guide.
God, this is
Okay,
really a
so-
thing. I love it. Oh
All
my
right,
God.
get your fucking facts back.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Number 9. There isn't. I'm not really pissed off, by the way. God.
I know you're not.
Okay, number 9. There's an actual reason we call. There's an actual reason we call. I can't believe you're fucking drinking out of a fishbowl. That's just what I keep thinking of over and over again.
It's the goddess's cup.
Oh God. Okay.
How many times do I have to go through this, Kyle? I'm Indiana fucking Jones.
This is going to be your name from now on, is Indy. Yo, shut up, Indy.
Yeah.
Oh God, we're going to be here all day.
I got to finish this before it's over.
Number 9, there is an actual reason we call it beer, which I did not know this. So a lot of these I'm blind on, so I'm finding this out as I'm reading it. There was also a time that we didn't refer to beer as beer at all. In fact, at the conclusion of the Norman conquest of England, beer fell completely out of the Old English vocabulary. Blah, I can't talk. Mainly because the word ale was used commonly. God, I think I need some water. It's getting a little dry.
Well, you are doing a lot of talking. You're reading a lot.
Voice actor rookie mistake, man. Been doing this shit for years. You think I'd learn?
Man, I got a while.
God, that's literally 6 beers. Like that's like 2 bladders.
No, that's more
12
than,
beers. So it's 12 beers. That's like that's
it's
way
not
more
12
bladders.
beers, but a regular beer is 12 ounces. These were 16.
That's still a lot of beer.
Yeah.
I just can't. Okay. All right. I got to move on. All right. So, let's see here. In fact, at the conclusion of the Norman conquest of England, beer fell completely out of the Old English vocabulary, mainly because the word ale was also used commonly during that time and essentially just replaced beer in the common language. The word beer itself is thought to be derived from the Latin, I think it's bibere, which means to drink. However, there is a competing theory that suggests beer comes from the Proto-Germanic, Germanic. No, I almost said Germanic. Germanic word "boos," which translates to barley, which would make sense.
Oh, okay.
The Italians, the Dutch, the Germans, and the French all had words that surrounded similar to beer. So while we can't agree on where exactly the word comes from, we can at least agree that beer is a delicious and sacred beverage. I'm just going to give up. I can't read tonight.
You're good, man. No, it's a lot of dumb fucking. Yeah.
So it's I want you to think about that. This is a concept of beer, is that it is literally such an ancient idea of the idea of fermenting and like everything that came with that, of creating it, that all of humanity in every culture has a beer.
Yeah.
That it is, dude, it's mind blowing.
You know, over the years, so all jokes aside, I mean, and I don't mean to be like a beer snob. Again, the beer for this was cheap. That was the point, because I was kind of in a sense wasting it. I don't work tomorrow. Let's be clear. Like,
Right.
I don't do this on a regular. Like,
No.
A rarity.
No,
for
and
me.
and the thing is too is that it's like, I think if anybody that truly respects and enjoys beer, if they do not enjoy this, I think they're lying. That's like, because like that's something that I look at and it's just like, dude, like that is just, it is the surplus of just good. You know, it's like there's just, oh man, it's just nice.
What I was saying is that like while I've got a cheap beer, me and you both enjoy. We're kind of in a sense beer snobs, if you will.
I mean, I really don't branch past much with like, you know, like Yingling, bro. That's my main thing.
No, I know that's your go-to.
But I do only drink really lagers though. So that is, yeah.
But see, like there's a couple local stores and stuff that get a lot of very unique things. And when I lived in Pittsburgh, before they passed the law about being able to buy beer in like Giant Eagles and stuff, where you had to go strictly to breweries or like beer stores, they had a lot of selections. So I would basically, like every week, I would go in and try to like find a different 6-pack and try new beer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really adventurous thing. Like it's something that you can get really creative with, and it's like, hey, like I wonder if this one's called like, you know, Vampire's Blood or whatever. It's like, hey, let's see if it's a dark beer, and then you could find out it's like totally not.
I've had it to where they look like they're going to be delicious. I've bought beers, liquors, anything, sometimes strictly off of what the bottle looks like.
Yeah.
And that's good marketing in my eyes. So sorry, I wasn't trying to veer too much off. I was just making sure everybody. First of all, I don't drink like this all the time.
No.
This was just to be funny and for the video's sake more than anything.
You would, because you bought it and you had said, I want to bring this on the podcast eventually, like, you know, to show everyone.
But see, don't get it twisted. This right here, I'm gonna fill with milk, juice, water.
This is not just a beer thing. Like
No.
he is all about this. I looked up at your camera again. It's becoming a habit.
This is
So,
my cup. Like, I don't care. Like, I will put ice water in this and then chill.
Oh,
so,
my God.
and then real quick before we veer off, before I forget, is so theoretically on 4th of July, my plan is I need to get a kiddie pool.
This is actually going to happen.
I would like to.
Oh,
I would like to.
oh my God, that's great.
If my boss, if my store manager, I'm gonna ask her right now on video.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I do not condone this and did not know about this, by the way.
If I can have the 4th of July off so I can do this, it would be appreciated. But I want to get a kiddie pool and get me a little lawn chair, maybe some American flag shorts. And then I'm going to
Supposedly
fill
you
this.
can get at Walmart. So
Yeah. Well, my district manager said something today, and when I said I was going to do 12 PBRs in this and drink it,
it's America's beer.
but he also said, why not Bush?
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's a lot of Bush. Bush is very, very, very skunky. It's just
It is. But see, here's my secret.
not about it.
I might actually like take a shot or two first that way, because to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of PBR.
Really?
No.
Wow,
No.
that's crazy.
And I don't know, but I don't know. I just, like I said, I like beer. I don't like normal run of the mill beer. I don't like Bush and Bud. And I mean, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I would drink Bud Light and I would drink Budweiser and I would drink Yingling, but those are like run of the mill basic beers.
Yeah.
I like to branch out and drink different beers. I mean, a go-to for me, just because, again, I don't drink that heavily to where I like a heavy beer like Guinness. I'll buy a case of Guinness, but it'll take me almost a month to drink them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
But now,
so-
what I will say is that I am a very big fan of Yingling Black and Tan. That
I'm
is,
not, dude, I'm not dogging your
no,
beer.
no. What I'm saying is that it's like that's actually like
It's a good beer.
It's a
It's a really good beer.
It's actually quite a reputable stout. Like it's not that bad. Like I mean, obviously, like I'll take a Guinness if I'm gonna have a stout, but it's like that's not always the option because Guinness can it can be pricey. So it's like
It can. It can. So
I don't know if I ever did I tell you what I did the first time that I got canned Guinness and I cracked it open and what I thought.
tell me you thought there was a finger in there.
I thought it was bad. I cracked it open and I
You talking
looked.
about the CO2 thing in there?
Dude, scared the hell out of me. Had no idea. I didn't understand that that's how milk stouts were, dude. Because the only thing I'd ever had with the Guinness before was on draft and then on a
Right.
bottle.
So you had it
I
the
had
good
no
way.
clue.
You had it the good way. Like,
So I'll never forget
can you
it.
drink them warm?
No. Why would you do that?
Oh, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to drink Guinness warm.
Oh, you are? Oh, well, no, fuck that. I won't do that. No.
I think so.
No, I'm not saying no, like it's not the way, but like I'm just like, oh, I don't know
Yeah.
if I could do that.
A warm Guinness, yeah.
I know that it's like in certain countries, like they more push like warm beer. Like it's
I don't know. We should look that up while we finish these beer facts, because I think that's a thing.
Yeah, warm. There's even like there's other drinks out there too that's where it's like they're shockingly good like warm or shockingly good cold.
So-
like when it's like the opposite.
Here's the thing is, while I mean, obviously, like I said, I don't drink that much like that anymore. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. Had my moments,
Right.
Had my time, but
mean, who doesn't,
I've
man?
drank piss warm beer. I don't give a shit.
I can't
This
do it,
is
man.
not going to stay cold, guys. Like,
No,
it's
but
not going to stay cold, and I'm
it's-
going to finish it.
It's not. But the thing is that there's so much of it though.
And I put
It's-
this,
so,
I
like,
put
I
this
think it
shit in
might
the
actually,
freezer,
like-
and it's still making my hand like. That's why I'm not touching it.
Right.
Like it's still really cold.
Real quick, I don't know if I've ever asked you this or not, but what was your first beer? Like, where was it? Like, who were you with? Like, what was your very, very first beer? The very first time beer ever touched your lips? Unless if you don't want to talk about it, I know mine was a cool story, so I just didn't expect it.
My first real memory.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all right. It was with Bob.
Oh, okay.
And so when I went and stayed with him when I was, like 11, he was stationed he was in Kentucky.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because Yeah.
He was stationed in Kentucky, and I remember they lived in him and my stepmom, and my brother and my sister, they lived in this like almost kind of like where Aunt Heidi lives. Oh Jesus. Like that little like community, but it was for people that lived on base kind of. It was like an off base living.
Right.
Really, really nice places actually. And it was a really nice little neighborhood. And something happened with a guy across the street with like he graduated something or like I don't know. But again, everybody was like worked together and on the base or like went to, served with them, all this stuff. Well, they were having a party. And it was summer, and we were all sitting out front, and I was with everybody because I was I might have been a little older than 11. I think I was like 13, actually, to be honest with you. I know I'd had beer before, but as far as like a legit thing that like sticks out in my mind,
Right.
I looked over at him, and I said, "Can I have a beer?" And he like looked at my stepmom and he was like, and he reached in the cooler and smacked it in my chest and he was like, "Don't tell your mother." So I cracked it and I drank it quick.
Oh, no.
I was good.
Really?
I asked for another one. He gave me one more and said, "You better sip that."
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
okay, that's an actual lie. I forgot. Okay, sorry. We're going to go back even further. It literally just jogged my memory. Me and Alan, we might actually, if we can, maybe we can call him because he'll attest to some of these memories. When we were kids, actually, like kids, probably, again, at least 11 or younger, Grandpa Kaline, when we would go to Barberton and hang out with Granny, and then that's just kind of where we hung out, me, him, and Aunt Chrissy and some friends. Grandpa Kaline he would be in his room like watching TV or whatever. It was like right in the front, like so, like almost as soon as you entered the door, like there was this hallway, and immediately to the right there was this room, about the size of this right here, and that was his room. And he would always be like, "Hey, go get Grandpa a beer." And we would go in and we'd pour it in his mug. Well, we didn't know how to pour beer. So you get all this foam.
Yeah. Yep.
And we'd bring it in and we'd give it to him. And he'd be like, "You can take a sip." And we would get right past the foam. He'd make us drink all the foam. He'd be like, "All right, that's enough." And then take it from us.
That is so messed up, dude.
I mean, fuck it. We made the foam happen. He wasn't having that shit. Like,
If anything, if you guys didn't have foam, you wouldn't get a sip.
Yeah. So I mean, we didn't know the difference, but like,
yeah,
I'll bet you he's got a few more memories too. And like he would he wasn't supposed to, so Graham would hide his Kessler, his liquor.
Oh no!
And we would find it because like we would just because we smoked, so we would be around like all the around the house and like outside or whatever, and we would find it half the time. And Alan was gangster with it. He'd be like, "Hey, Grandpa, I know where your Kessler's at." He'd be like, "Go get it." He'd be like, "Give me $2." Yeah,
Dude.
Yeah. And then he was smart. Then he had us put it back.
Oh my God!
So Gran didn't know,
and he could just keep doing it over and over again. Where it's like, "Hey man,
but she would figure it out, and then she would move it." You know what I mean? But like, yeah. Yeah. So that technically would have been like my first beer experience, but like,
right,
actually drinking a beer, my first clear memory was in Kentucky, and I got to have two, and it was Budweiser, and
some decent beer to start with.
I mean, yeah, but yeah. So that's probably mine. What about yours?
Mine kind of snuck up on me. For anybody that doesn't know, I was a very, very, very good Christian boy growing up. I did not. I think the only time that I'd ever touched beer was I'm not going to. Okay, fine. Yeah, Erica was the very first person to ever give me my first beer. Like, you know, as far as you were the one that let me like drink. Where you're like, all right, it's like if you want to drink, then go ahead. Like, it's like, you know, but it's
You're
like
at my house.
Yeah, it's like you don't leave. It's like you don't interact with nobody. Like, you stay here. Like, it's like we're like nothing dangerous was happening. And I was like, okay, cool. And what I remember was going over to a friend's house, and we were up in his room. I think we were getting ready to play like Tony Hawk Underground or something.
Oh,
or like,
God,
it was
yes.
Yeah, it actually,
Oh,
it was.
man. You know they're
was,
remaking that? Sorry.
No, they're remaking Pro Skater 1 and 2, which then makes me believe that they're going to do all the way up
Yeah,
to.
they're going to do that. So anyway,
Dude,
sorry.
If we get a next gen PS5 version of American Wasteland, I am literally going to freak the hell out.
I'll buy a pound of weed and never leave the house.
Yeah, just like,
And then fill this up twice.
yeah, right. It's just, oh my God. It's going to be so much fun. Anyway, I'm going to get off that train. But anyway, so yes, it was around the time of when Tony Hawk Underground was brand new. And we were sitting like on the floor in front of his bed. And we had snacks. We had all this stuff, and it was early in the day. Like, it was like 12 or 1 or like whatever, and it was just like, oh, like, you know, it's like we're just hanging out inside. Like, we didn't do outside shit, you know. It's like we made films and we talked about going outside, and never did. And
Why you're so pale?
that's right. Yes, yeah, no, seriously, yeah, I'm pale blue. No, but he just went downstairs at some random point and came up with like a Michelob Ultra. It was like I just looked over at him. I'm like, "What are you doing?" It had to be Michelob. I can't.
Yeah, Mick Ultra. That's the only thing that's called Ultra, man.
No, it wasn't. It was a Yingling.
How old were you?
It was a Yingling. Holy shit! I do remember. I totally thought. Okay, yep. It was a Yingling.
Wait.
I believe I was probably 12. Probably.
Can't be.
It was a green bottle. It was like it had the green bottle with the oval in the front. Is there another beer that has that?
Heineken.
May have been a Heineken. Anyway.
Well, I don't know. Well, the only reason I'm saying that is Yingling didn't come out of PA until.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So no, it couldn't have been. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway,
sorry.
Maybe the type of beer isn't important.
Doesn't matter.
Regardless, we were smashing shit. No. Essentially, he came up, popped it open, and went, "Here you go, man." He's like, "You have the first sip, man." I went, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "We're gonna share a beer." He's like, we're gonna play this game. He's like, "We're gonna share a beer."
Hell yeah!
And I looked at him and I'm like,
"That's a good friend right there."
And I just looked at him and I'm like, "Are you serious, man?" I'm like, "Dude, like your parents are downstairs." He's like, "I don't give a shit."
Who was it?
I'm not gonna disclose it. So.
On break, I mean.
I'll tell you on break. But anyway, basically it was really interesting because I had this stigma with beer that I thought was, you know, was so like flawlessly true. And I finished one with a friend and it was just like, I realized I was like, this isn't that bad. Like, I'm like, it was just, I just felt really relaxed because I technically didn't even drink a whole one. We shared one.
Well, sure. But you were just kind of chilling. But
yeah,
beer is an acquired taste.
It is.
Beer is a very acquired taste. And I've known people that don't really drink beer because they don't like the taste. And I've always tried to, because again, like I've said, I've tried so many different styles of beer. Mm-hmm. I don't remember all of them, so I'm not going to sit here and I've a lot, you know, over time. I've tried, you know, different styles of the same brand, like, you know, all the Yinglings, all the Sam Adams, all the blah, you know, all that. But beer tastes so different when you have different styles. Like you can have a Christmas ale, but have it by a different maker, and it does taste different.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same basic ingredients, they do their own thing. So for people that say that I don't like beer, you just haven't found a beer you like. That's kind of how I look at it.
It is.
And I'm not saying you need to be
a very fair statement because I was like, no, I'm never going to do it.
You were, and I know because
Just because I didn't like how it tasted. Because I got through that beer, but it must have been a lighter one because I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. And then I had like a legit one, and I was like, oh no, oh god.
well, when you're a kid too, and you taste or smell a beer, it smells gross because let's face it, everybody around us drank one of the few things: Busch, Bud, or Heineken, or you know what I mean, like of some sort.
Right.
It all smelled like fucking shit. When you're 10.
Smelled like shit, tasted like shit.
Yeah, when you're 10 years old, that don't taste good. So yeah.
Let's see here. Let's do a couple of facts and then we'll take a break. But I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this name of this brewery because it's in Germany.
Okay.
And it's literally like Wehenstaufen. Like it's a very, very, very long word. So we'll just call it the W Brewery just for the sake of argument. But it's widely accepted as the world's oldest brewery. I'm gonna move this over here.
Oh shit, really?
Yes. It started brewing beer back in 1040. To put that in perspective, the oldest brewery in the U.S. is the Yuengling Brewery in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, just like you said, which started brewing beer in 789 years later in 1829.
Dude, we could go see that.
Yeah. It's well known for their Hefeweizen. It's a delightfully fruity wheat beer. Like any good origin story, however, there is a noted controversy as a nearby brewery in Waltenberg started brewing its beer just 10 years later, but claims they were in fact the first brewers to produce beer in the area. Regardless, we know that the first brewery was in Germany as early as 1040, which means that beer has been bringing happiness to people in the area for nearly 1,000 years.
No shit.
Yeah.
See, I always heard about that when I lived in Pittsburgh about like Yuengling was such a like prized possession.
Yeah.
And I never understood it for a while. And then when I started realizing, you know, like you were saying, it's one of the first few, like as far as like oldest, as because that's what it was saying, right?
It's
one of the few,
it's
like
it
top three.
Basically. It came out, it said over 789 years after the first brewery was ever created, which is still early.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like that's probably crazy. top 5, top 3, something like that.
Yeah.
But remember when I was telling you, that's why I said it couldn't have been a Yuengling, because when I went to college in Pittsburgh, you couldn't. We had people asking us to smuggle it back, basically.
Yeah.
And there's no smuggling. Like, it's you just coming
put
to
it in
Ohio.
your car and drive.
Yeah.
Like,
but
no one's going to pull you over about it.
It didn't hit Ohio. Well, not Ohio, but all other states until when I was back in Pittsburgh, which was about 10 years ago. So yeah, you would have, that definitely couldn't have been.
No.
And, well, here's the thing is it could have actually, somebody could have done what I did.
Oh yeah, that is.
So
that,
you're
that
right.
Is,
so yeah, but that was just interesting that we were actually just talking about that not even an hour ago. So
check this shit out.
Okay. I'm down.
Number 7, the longest recorded hangover was for 4 weeks.
Off a beer?
I don't know. We're about to find out. I'm literally reading
Well,
this
it's
for the
got to
first
be. It's
time.
this fucking beer facts. Like, don't give me some liquor story then.
In 2015, oh yeah, this is about beer. Holy shit. I just read ahead a little bit. In 2015, a man from Glasgow, Scotland walked into his local emergency room. He told the doctors that he was suffering from wavy vision and a crippling chronic headache. They ran full battery of tests and the results left doctors baffled. His blood pressure and body temperature were both normal. He reported that he had no memory loss, nor had he suffered any head trauma. Neural scans were ordered, but yet again, the test came back fine. The hospital finally called an eye doctor, assuming that his eyes were the problem. Upon examination, the eye doctor ruled the man's condition a hangover on account of swollen optical discs and the bleeding nerve fibers, which are telltale signs of a hangover. When the man was informed of his diagnosis, he confessed to the medical staff, check this shit out, that he had consumed 60 pints of beer over 4 days. That is 28.4 liters or 7.5 gallons of beer. The man ended up being just fine, but required 6 months of treatment to fully rid himself of the effects.
God damn.
The longest.
And I thought I was a hard ass drinking this.
This is going to be a clip. I need to stop saying that and just let it happen.
Dude.
7.5 gallons in 4 days.
That's almost like, do you remember the clip from Nick Swartzen's stand up where he's like, he said, when you go out and you think you're having a badass time with your friends and you're a hard ass drinking all, he's like, yeah, I come home. He's like, I just had like 16 beers, he said like 27 beers. He's like, and then you come home and you're all fucked up and you turn on VH1 and it's like behind the music on Motley Crue and it says, Nikki Sixx drank heroin from a fire hose. And you're like, God damn, I'm a pussy. Like, yeah, right. You know, like when you think you've partied hard before, that's why I was like, God damn, like this nothing. Like,
oh my God.
That is
7.5 gallons. Like I keep coming back to that.
He did that in 4 days.
4 days. So if you were to
7.5 gallons, dude. Okay, wait. Here you go. Before you have to even do it, look at it this way. Quit.
Oh, she's fine. You can't hear her. So
no, she's hitting your
camera.
Think about it this way. That is 7 gallons of milk, and then a carton of it. Of beer.
That is 1.875 gallons per day. So essentially almost 2 gallons a day.
He drank, oh my God, he drank almost 2 gallons of beer in a day.
Yeah.
How does your stomach hold that?
That's a good question. Why don't you drink some more and you can tell us?
This right here.
That's nowhere near.
So like what I drink. Oh man,
I don't understand how he did.
I'm thinking as far as like the amount of ounces that we put in it last night.
Yeah,
to like measure it to like in what he did in 4 days or like per day. Dude, that is a challenge I don't want to do.
No, that doesn't even sound like what the hell was he going through?
Can I ask a really, I guess, kind of shitty question?
What?
Was he fat?
It doesn't say. It just has a picture of a guy with a hangover. So
okay, he had to have been a big boy. He had to. That would have killed somebody, dude. And I've realized I've just still been like holding this. I was like, man, my biceps like getting like some real shit. That. Like this beer's whole. Like,
ironically, you're going to be ripped when this is all done.
Yeah, but with a flabby gut, like.
Number 6.
I'm gonna look like Arnold Schwarzenegger now. That was good.
I tell you what, man, you're gonna drink the giant beer, you're going to be absolutely powerful. I genuinely wasn't trying. I was going into Arnold mode.
Oh God, I put it in quick.
Okay, number 6.
Yeah,
Germany.
I thought we were taking a break.
We're doing 2. This is the second one. Second one, then we're gonna take a break.
I'm trying to get drunk.
It's okay. It's all good. I mean, number 6.
Monetization out the fucking window.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's what Mr. Epsilon did in one of his videos. He chugged a beer at the beginning of it, dropped his beer down, burped, and then he looked at the. I can fucking hear you swallow, dude.
I was trying to take a pound town right there. Dude. That nope. Edit that.
No. Pound town. I'm keeping it. No. I was trying to go to Pound Town over here.
I immediately heard it after it came out of my mouth. Fuck.
Okay. Oh my God. We're going to be here all night. I'm going to love every second of it. Now,
Thor ain't moved a muscle.
You don't care. Number 6, Germany has a beer purity law.
Huh?
That's what I said. Another one of these big ass German words I can't say.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to burp into the microphone anymore.
You just took down a fucking like half
the first one at the beginning was like on purpose to be funny. The other ones are not.
Yeah, this is. I'm just gonna put burp warning throughout the entire thing.
I apologize.
This is Reinheitsgebot. It's called the Reinheitsgebot. I can't fucking speak German. And in 2016, it turned 500 years old. In 1516, the Bavarian Council banned the making of beer with anything except for hops, water, and barley. Eventually, yeast was added to the list in the 17th century after its discovery. History tells us that the rule was originally enacted to keep breweries from squandering large quantities of wheat and rye, as they were scarce and precious commodities during that time. However, as time marched on, many German breweries continued to honor that tradition. To this day, a large portion of German breweries abide by the R word that once started as a simple means of portion control and has evolved over centuries to become a national symbol of pride. It's hard to believe that such delicious beer comes from just a simple quartet of ingredients, brewed with a little German swagger. Dude, this is like poetic and like artsy. Like I love this.
I mean, like beer, like any type of spirit, beer, liquor. Well, that's what spirit is. God damn it. But like, you know what I mean? Like any type of alcohol,
right?
It is an art form. It's patience. It's the oakiness. It's the fruitiness. Like you always have something that's going on with the flavor.
You work towards it and earn it.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is almost kind of a, I dare say, beauty behind it because it is a waiting game.
Yeah.
It is patience and then could you imagine like perfecting whatever company's beer is? Because it is such a, my God, the first 849 batches are fucking shit. And then you got to go through, you know what I mean?
Dude,
like
I revere anybody that has the patience of Thomas Edison. Like when somebody asked him, like when he did 1,000 tries to make the light bulb and they were like, how did you deal with your failure? And he's like, I didn't fail. I just found 999 ways to not make a light bulb.
Right. But I mean like that like he spent his whole life.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's people out there that spent their whole life perfecting Keith Stone.
Yeah.
You know, perfecting Yingling to, you know, like that's the thing about it is even quote shit beers or that we think like somebody put their heart and soul into that.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because it's like, it's so is it objective or subjective? I always get them confused, but
what are you trying to say?
Saying that it's like, you know, it's so dependent on the person. So subjective, I think it is.
Yeah.
But it's I always
I don't know. It could be either.
Why am I asking you? You're halfway into a fishbowl.
Wow. I just said verbs right there. I didn't even
actually no. Those were vowels, not even verbs.
Yeah, that's what it was. I knew it was a V1.
Okay, we're taking a break. we have
the fuck out.
We'll see you guys in a minute. And we are back. That one was on purpose. I've been building to this moment. All previous times of me almost making you laugh while you've been drinking has been a lie.
Yeah.
Or am I lying about lying? You'll never know.
Why are you doing this to me? Okay, folks. I have, just to be fair, I have not, you can attest, Kyle does not lie. I did not dump anything out. This is where I'm at.
Oh, no. Trust me. He did not dump anything out.
I'm getting through it. This is what I got left in the last probably, 20?
There's going to be one
20,
ass
25?
hat in the comments where it's like, he didn't really drink that on break. How we know we can trust him? There's always one
you know what?
Suck ass that always does that.
Then if there's one comment like that, I will do another episode and then take the GoPro with me the entire break.
Yeah, let's improve a point. Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck you.
I have a very low opinion of one person on the planet where it's just like, yeah, they're probably going to say, oh my God. Yeah. He's getting a little happy. This is good.
No,
I love it. I love it. It's not a bad thing.
That's the thing is that it's going to be that one person already pre-recorded it. Fuck you. I'll do it. So one comment. I'm not even going to ask my friends to like, oh, do it. Like, no, seriously.
We're just
one
gonna let
random person test me.
And here's the truth. Here's the true thing is that somebody has to make it this far into the podcast to be able to find it.
Exactly.
So we will know. That means that we're doing something right.
So that's what I'll do is even when I tag my friends to just listen, I'm not going to tell them that.
No.
So we'll see what happens.
You ready for the next beer fact?
I am, dude. Let's go. Fuck this challenge. I'll record it just for shits and giggles then.
Number 5. Beer is actually good for you.
I have heard. Go ahead. Let me hear if it's the same thing.
The dream argument for every college kid in America. It's always been a whisper of a rumor, kind of a joke among peers. Beer is good for you. What a shock to find out that statement, in fact, is actually true. According to researchers from the University of Western Ontario, beer contains, I'm probably going to butcher this, polyphenols, which are compounds that contain hypotensive, anticoagulant, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-carcinogenic properties. I can't believe I just did all that.
Good for you, man. That was intense.
That was really hard to get through.
I felt like I was watching an episode of House.
Sorry, I played internet porn.
And you've got a really pretty dog behind you.
What's up, Bubba? Oh, yes, I know. I know. Oh, no.
Oh, so can we talk about the fact that my big, huge, vicious dog here, named Thor, mind you,
yes,
has this huge, deep, like
good boy. I don't know why I said that.
Security bark. Is afraid of cars.
Yeah. That's mostly a most recent thing.
Yeah. I don't understand. Pisses me off. Can't even take him for a walk. He cowers in a corner like he got his ass beat. And I have no idea why.
There's no problem, Bubba.
That dude will attack the mailman in his mind on the couch.
Right. But
through the window.
But cars, no way.
Fuck no.
No.
So anyways, so I was just saying, like, you have a big vicious dog behind you, but he's afraid of cars. So
it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We love you anyway.
Pussy.
So with all those properties that I just listed, because I'm not reading through them again, because that was a once in a lifetime of me getting all those right in a row.
Hold on real quick. I'm going to probably have a red mark over my head the whole time.
Hey, now we have a thing we can use for voice acting.
Hello.
Oh my God. He's doing fucking Darth Vader right now.
I just breathed in beer.
Well, stop that. You're going to hurt yourself. A part of me wants to shout at the top of my lungs, stop drinking for 2 goddamn seconds and pay attention. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I'm going to continue. As he takes that down, with all the properties I just
done.
with all the properties I just listed, this shouldn't come as much of a surprise as history is loaded with instances of fermented products being used in medicine. But there's just something about a bunch of Guinnesses. Oh my God.
I was like, wait, really?
About a bunch of geniuses.
Yes. Oh. Oh God, I fucked that up.
I thought it said Guinnesses. We're doing a fucking show on beer. It was geniuses.
That is the best thing all night. Because you were so focused on beers.
Dude, I literally just said anti-carcinogenic and I can't say
genius. You can't say genius. You rattled off 14 medical words in a row.
I fucked up the easiest one.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh man.
God.
See,
this is a moment.
My mug head's itching.
This is a moment. I always have something to relate to my embarrassment. Is that there was a Vine that went around that was this really like pretty dressed, almost like teenage girl sitting like at a piano recital, but she was acting and it was like in her room and she set up the camera with her keyboard and she went, for my next piece, I will be composing Beethoven's yada yada yada, Fourth Symphony. And she went to go push the keys down, but she realized she left her fart sound effects on.
Yes.
She just went, oh God.
Did she switch them or did she continue?
No, no one was there, but it was a sketch. It was just like, and I will be now performing. Like she elegantly said it all of it and stuff. And like, even I think popped her knuckles and put her like fingers down. Oh God.
I have to watch this.
It's like 5 seconds long. Like it is so simple. Oh God.
Beer.
So, beer. Now, okay. This is what this says.
Wait, I can actually do it.
It says,
I can actually.
yeah, he's swishing it. Look at that. I can talk it to the mic. I'm so bass backwards right now, dude, because I can't say geniuses because it was Guinnesses.
Oh, I just flopped that.
Look at that. There
we go.
Isn't that going to make it flat?
I don't give a fuck, dude.
All right.
I'm drunk.
This shouldn't come as.
That'll be the. No. Do that. Edit that.
All right. But there's just something about a bunch of geniuses in lab coats openly declaring the health benefits of beer that gives it a new validity. Now, before you go off and buy a 30-pack of PBR and celebrate, it should also be noted that these same scientists also say that excessive or binge drinking has negative effects on the body. This on account of the excess of ethanol that you'd be flooding your body with, which has well documented negative medical effects. But at least when you're 40 and sitting on the front porch sipping a couple of beers and admiring their flavor, you can say it's for your health rather than just for their buzz factor.
Or pound 16 ounces.
God, that is so much.
Wait.
Dude, it is.
Hold on.
You literally have drank all of that. Like, that is. I am perplexed. Like, dude, this is like. No, this is amazing. Like,
I know, because I'm not proud of this. Hold on. Wait. Here we go.
Oh, God. Okay. All right.
Don't talk. You're going to make me laugh.
No. Go ahead. No, please. Please, go ahead.
Make me laugh. Now you're being too quiet. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Hold on.
He finished it.
I finished it.
He finished it. Oh, my God.
So fuck you, Jerry, that says I didn't do it. I'll prove you wrong if you want me to. I don't know if that's really his name.
You just called out some guy named Jerry.
Yeah.
That was actually what happened to me at one point. Film Riot called me out and they had no idea.
Oh, really?
It was on during one of their episodes of The Slate, or no, it was one of the 2 episodes they did. What?
Hey, do me a favor. Let's put this somewhere. So.
Oh, you want to put that somewhere safe? Yeah.
Yeah.
Here.
Can you just like maybe put it in between you right there?
Yeah. We can hear that. We're keeping the glass safe.
Yes. There you go. Thank you.
That is going to make him feel a lot better and also make me feel
move. You ain't moved all night. Don't move now.
This is not the time. What was I talking about?
I don't. Jerry.
Oh, yes. Okay. So the Kyle thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
So, hey, you're not that drunk then.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. So, basically, what one of the guys on there was saying was that in reference to internet, like, comments and such, was that he's like, all right, listen to me. If you are a filmmaker and you are a 15-year-old and or somewhere in that area or a fresh filmmaker and you want me to review your film, send me a message with the link. 2 sentences max. I don't want to read War and Peace, Kyle.
And you're like, but I didn't write that.
I just looked at him. I'm like, I feel personally attacked right now.
Yeah, but you're like the attack for like all that monster shit.
Oh, dude, it's
I've
gotten so used to it. I've drank Monster at work before, and people are like, really? I'm like, have you had it? It's delicious.
No, the fuck it's not.
Yeah, well, you're a rare breed. Now, number 4 is the honeymoon was named after beer.
Wait, can I get another beer? No, I'm being serious.
Why? What are you thinking?
How many more do we have left?
I don't know.
No, how many?
Oh, I thought you meant how many beers do we have?
No.
We have, this is the 4th one, so we have 4 more left.
Speed it up.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right. The honeymoon. I'm just trying to account. Hey,
I'm just fucking with you.
For all of us, baby. No.
I had nothing to do with my hands.
Oh, well then, here, play with this duct tape.
Got it.
You caught that. And
did.
you're not sober.
No.
Perfect. Number 4, the honeymoon was named after beer. Yes, the most romantic part of getting married actually has ties to beer. One of the things that causes couples to fight the most. Oh, the irony. Contrary to what you're thinking, this has nothing to do with the needing to drink to deal with the fact that you just contractually signed your life away to another person. My God, as fitting as that may be. The truth, in fact, is quite literal. In the 5th century, it was customary in a number of cultures for guests to bring mead, which is essentially honey beer, for the couple to drink together. It was believed to have properties that helped with conception, and the couple would drink it on their first night or moon together, hence the term honeymoon.
Okay, so they basically brought it as
cool.
a gift and then got them drunk, so they wanted to fuck, and then they had
Yeah, it was a procreation like kind of a thing. So, but that's a cool tradition where
So
it's like how that came about.
because that's technically a thing. Like you get pregnant on your honeymoon, like that's what that is.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's interesting. You know, so I guess before we get too far into this, again, if you've gotten this far into the podcast, Kyle is pretty much a beer drinker.
Yeah.
You do not drink. You drink wine.
Just taking off, bro?
Sweet. You drink wine, but you really don't drink liquor.
No, there has only really been one place that I have truly enjoyed. Oh no, sorry, two places that I've truly enjoyed, like a whiskey or a vodka or anything like that. I'm just not a big liquor drinker. I always associated it with partying hard, like let's do shots and stuff. And like I think that shit's dumb. Like I'm not into it.
No.
It's a waste of time. It's one of the things that I always loved about being younger, before I could be equated into the 21 and over club, was that people were always just talking about like, oh man, I'm so fucking hungover this morning and shit. And it's like, dude, like I'm like, I don't dig it. Like there is nothing appealing about being hungover. There is nothing appealing about like being blackout drunk. That is like,
no.
I've just always hated that. The one place in particular, which is, I'll say it's nowhere near us, but Wolf Creek Winery. They at one point had a distillery that they had made their own bourbon. They made their own vodkas, their own whiskeys, and I absolutely loved it.
See, that's the thing, is that you don't, when you become more of an adult, and I say that when you become like, honestly, like more towards your 30s, you acquire like a taste, even with your alcohol. Like you, like, well, for me, like I did a lot more partying than you did, obviously.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
Well,
like,
no, I mean, it's very evident because I just didn't.
no,
Yeah, I really didn't.
But-
even when I did,
when you can sit down and as an adult, even with partying all the time or not, but sitting down with liquor, a good bourbon, a good whiskey, even some people just drink vodka too, like shit like that.
Yeah.
I can't do that, but
No.
or like basically like a martini or something like that. But that's you're sipping. You're not smashing shots. Like you're taking that 3 shots and drinking it over a course of
Yeah.
an hour and a half, 2 hours.
yeah, and I like that.
That's it's an experience.
Especially because one of the coolest places I've ever gone to that had some of the best liquor that I've ever drank, as well as the coolest heated cigar patio that we got to go out on in the middle of winter. Once again, Joey and Kelsey. So if you guys are watching this or listening, hey guys, we love you. We
Walk
actually
our shit.
What like, comment, and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and follow us on Spotify. That'd be wonderful. No, but see that big plug all done in a few seconds.
Good for you. That was a lot.
Since you say it enough in the car to yourself, eventually it just becomes quick. So, but yeah, I do that a lot. No, but we actually went up with them on a double date, and we went up to Gervasi Vineyard.
Yeah.
That's one of the places that's around here, and it is exceptionally good. The I can't remember what Christy got, but she got this drink that had almost this smoke in it. It had like these herbs and stuff that were kind of like charred, and they had these embers and stuff. And it was just,
that could be a number of things, but yeah, those are good because that smoke does add the flavor.
Yeah, well, and what they told them, what they told her was that they were like, look, a lot of people don't respect the drink. They just kind of go at it. They're like, you will get pretty tanked if you do it fast. Like that's also like the smoke. Like when you breathe that in, like it's. You're right. It's like it's an experience, and
it is.
I mean, we paid pretty good money for those drinks that night. Like it was the only time we had ever really done that. I never had done it before, and I was so excited to like be an adult and like, hey, like this is actually really, really nice. And what took it up the whole other level was that we got to go outside and have a cigar. Yeah, and that was, oh my God, made it so much better.
When you can,
this is turning into liquor, but I love it. So
well, no, and I mean we don't have to go through all of them. We can do it.
No, I'm about it. I like this. This is the continuation, man.
But like the thing is that when you have that experience, like you're talking about, is when you went out that night, you had no idea what you were getting into.
No, not really.
And you got there, you looked at things, you probably read a vague description and made your choices.
Yeah.
That's what I did with my beer when I was in Pittsburgh, because I had this plethora of beer compared to when I was just in Ohio and had almost all of your basics and maybe a handful, a dozen or so of like exotic, if you will. Yeah. So when I had that choice of going through and not spending a lot of money, and even if I didn't like it, I could get through it, or maybe somebody that came over that weekend would enjoy it and then take it home, even if it was only 4 or 3 left in the 6-pack or whatever. Because I never went overboard and bought like a 12-pack, maybe a few here and there, but only because that's what it came in.
Yeah,
I refuse to pay like $15, $18, $24 that I've seen on some of these that are 4-packs.
Yeah, that's where it gets ridiculous.
Man, I can't do it.
You got to be all out of Bud Light, man.
Man, you gotta really grab my attention to make me want to pay that amount of money. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean because of high alcohol content, which that you got to get me with that too. It's got to be more than just a regular beer.
Well, I mean, especially
you got to be in the 8s to 10s to 12s to let me even come close to paying 15 plus for 4.
Well, I mean, especially too, I've learned from plenty of people. I mean, mainly like my boss and, some other people that I've gone on like really big trips with. Mm-hmm. There's been times that they've tried some very expensive wines
and it's not good.
And he's like, he told me, it was actually, he's like, I almost couldn't even finish it. He's like, it wasn't that good. And he's, cause there's always like that moment, like, you think of like when the big wigs get together and they hand like, the new guy, the wine list, they're like, pick something out for us. Like, it's like, we trust you. And he's like, oh, what the fuck? Okay. Like,
do you know what's funny is I've had like, Cristal and stuff like that before. It's not that great.
No, it's not. It's I've been to extremely authentic Italian restaurants. I'm not trying to like bombard you or cut you off, but I had the chance to be able to sit down where the actual Rat Pack has been, like in Vegas.
See that. That's awesome.
And it's in which, I mean, that's not a gloat thing. Like that's like, it still shocks me to this day that I was able to do that. And it's like being able to have the option to go for the really expensive wines. I didn't, man. I went for their Italian signature lager every time.
Yeah.
Cause it was one of my buddies I work with, him and I actually sat next to each other and, we were looking through the list and stuff. And I looked at him. I'm like, hey man, we ain't got to make this a big deal. I'm like, let's just get ourselves the Italian beer. I'm like, and we don't, doesn't have to be a big deal. I'm like, we're about to eat so much food because it was a serve yourself table.
Yeah.
It was like the lasagna, literally like you pulled out with a ladle. It was that, dude, it was great. One of the guys that we work with, he got to come with a bunch of his guys and stuff. And we had a fantastic night. It was just really, really cool. So it was kind of like a whole department and the people that we remotely work with. Like it was just a great experience. So it was really good times, really good atmosphere. And like you would think that I would want to go for a liquor, or I'd want to go for a wine or try something. It's like, no, man, beer's my thing. That is the one thing I really, really love.
And when you find a beer that you really do like, I mean,
sorry, the shot just looks really cool right now with Norman Reedus up on the thing. It looked like two people were sitting there for a second. So sorry,
is it right there?
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm fucked up. Like, so anyways, all right. So we got a few left. I don't mean to cut you off or anything.
No, I do it too. So
yeah. So let's get through this because I actually might drink another beer.
Oh my goodness. You feeling it, man? Feeling good?
See, no, that's the thing is that I don't know.
Not a bad thing. It's like you're just feeling good. You're just
I feel good. Like I'm not like super drunk or anything. But
you also didn't drink something with a high alcohol content too.
I didn't.
That's that says something. It's not going to mess you up as bad.
And honestly, and Kyle was attested that I have not really eaten anything today other than a couple bites of some vegetables.
Which, by the way, I just want to shout out my wife right now. She made some banging honey mustard chicken tonight. And I tweeted about it earlier today. I was so excited about it.
You have a tweet?
Yeah, I have a Twitter.
You have a tweeter?
I've got tweeters. Yeah.
You got a tweeter?
You know what my favorite thing that I did about that post though? I put the GIF of Christian Bale from American Psycho going. But it was like hashtag honey mustard, whatever. So yeah, it was great.
See, I have a tweeter. I've only tweeted a few.
Tweeter.
Yeah. I might have to tweet.
My goal is to eventually one day is to get a top tweet somehow. That's what I want to do. I want to do it. My goal is to somehow break that. But we're about to learn about our very first president.
Wait. Very first, huh?
Yes.
What has he got with Burr?
George Washington.
What's he got?
The man who started this great country. If this doesn't surprise you, it should.
Okay.
During Washington's era, spirits were much more popular than beer. It is recorded in history that on the very day in 1783 that the British evacuated New York, George Washington went to a local pub called Old Bull's Head Tavern and casually sipped a beer. Washington was particularly fond of dark English porter ale. Unfortunately, the style of ale decreased in availability when the British fled. Before the start of the Revolutionary War, Washington was a regular customer of Robert Hare, a recently immigrated English brewmaster. In 1774, Washington, Hare, and a third partner, J. Warren, began making what is considered to be the first American-made porter.
Really?
Washington also dabbled in some brewing of his own and actually had his own personal beer recipe. Though it was not for a porter, the combination of bran hops, molasses, and yeast is an unmistakable beer brew combination. That was a bit of a tongue twister. With his infamous slave-pulled teeth and iron liver, the legend of George Washington looms large in the landscape of American history. The very foundation of our American government had a man who preferred beer over spirits, which is what was popular then.
You know what's funny?
If that's not a man, I don't know what is, dude. That is so cool.
Here's another thing, too, is that when you think about it, that's smart. I'll bet you anything he looked at it as is that beer doesn't fuck you up as much as liquor does.
He would be able to casually go have a beer and then go have a meeting at the White House.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you were saying earlier, is that he casually sipped a beer.
Yeah.
He didn't just pound shots or sip liquor or spirits. He did it with beer.
Yeah.
So
cool.
He needed that at that point in time. That was probably almost the equivalent of like NyQuil or something, to where it relaxed you and made you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a depressant. So it makes you like blah, kind of.
Now, I want you to imagine something. This is whenever I hear cool stuff like this about history, and people and, just the idea of what it would be like to just be them for a moment.
Yeah.
And it's like you think about George Washington. It's like, what do you think? He's our first president. He was a nobleman. He was this, like, yada, yada. There's some people that say he was a slave owner and he was, this. Like,
I mean, he was.
What I'm saying is, like, equating that to him being a dick or whatever. But it's like the very foundation of our country, which was George Washington, was a man that loved beer, and he just loved to go to the bar and just sip and just relax.
Yeah, he wasn't an alcoholic. He wasn't a party animal. He wasn't.
Very well. He probably could have had some very rough days at the White House and was like, I'm going to go to the bar and get fucked up. Like, just
yeah, exactly. I don't give a shit because even at that, beer and spirits back then were not as strong as they are now.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't have ice house edges and different stuff like that. Yeah. Could you imagine?
Name drop.
Number 2.
Okay.
Watering down beer was once punishable by death.
It fucking better be.
In ancient Babylon.
If I buy a fucking beer and it says 5% and some bullshit pissed off employee was like, fuck this company and poured more water into my yeast and shit.
Oh, anger.
And it was 4.5 instead of 5%. Piss, dude. I will find you. Dude, that is punishable by death. Dude, fuck that. I got mad at that. I have a little rant there. Sorry.
In ancient Babylon, whatever.
Babylon?
Babylon, my family. Oh, get your finger out of my ass because I'm leaving you behind. That was Robin Williams, by the way. Okay.
Rest in peace.
Yes. In ancient Babylon, there was an extremely harsh ruler named Hammurabi. It's Hammurabi. Hammurabi.
Interesting.
He enforced a very strict set of rules, which is now commonly known as the Code of Hammurabi. Back in his time period, it was very common to see beer brewers and tavern owners watering down their beer or making beer with improper grains in order to make extra money from unsuspecting patrons. Hammurabi, however, would have none of this defiling of such a precious commodity and passed a law forbidding watering down or tampering with beer. The penalty for violating this law would be death. It wouldn't just be boring. What is it? It wouldn't just be boring hanging for the execution, though. Oh, no. I don't know if this guy wrote that right. That was weird. The law dictated that the offending party be drowned in their subpar product. Some may see that as harsh, but being drowned to death in beer doesn't seem like an awful way to go. But dude, like, let's talk about a guy that takes his beer seriously. It's like, that's
wow, man.
Like it's a bit much, but it's like,
but I mean, I get it. Like you it's almost like, I hate to say it, but like when you cut like cocaine with your like baking soda and shit, like
it's like all the drug movies and stuff you see where it's like the punishment. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, you're cutting your product to make it stretch.
Right. Yeah.
So he's watering it down. Like, I'm assuming that's what he was doing to like make it go further. I mean,
yeah, especially for people that don't know, like, don't know like what beer is supposed to taste like, or whatever. It's like, yeah, this is amazing. Yeah. Well, you haven't had the legit thing. So you'll just keep buying it. But that's the
thing is it still probably tasted the same. But like I was saying is that when I'm buying a name brand beer and it's 5% alcohol, but it's really only 4.6% alcohol because of the water.
Yeah.
You're taking away from that. So I don't know what that would really benefit you because unless
it doesn't,
like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. So that's a little confusing to me, actually.
The only time that there has ever been, from my understanding, more so in biblical times of, alcohol and water being mixed was when stomach viruses were so bad, it was bacterial infections. Was that Paul writes about it in the New Testament. He sends a letter to Timothy and he says, hey, do not be afraid to use a little wine with your water to help your stomach. It was that idea that if it was the opposite, it was that you cut your water with wine, but it was a fraction amount or whatever that you would do it with. Because it was that idea that I think it was Timothy didn't want to touch alcohol at all because he was too scared to. It was like he thought it was sinful. So, but Paul was like, no, it's fine. Like, stop being in agony. So it's like it's interesting that it's like this is a complete reversal of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love that.
All right. So what do we got for was it last one?
Yep.
All right.
Number 1, breakfast of champions.
Yep.
Beer for breakfast was actually once a common thing.
Yep.
In England before the 1800s, coffee and tea, the type of morning drinks that give you that pick me up, were hard to come by for most people. In lieu of this, they used beer because why not?
Yep.
On top of that, beer was considered to be very healthy back then. It did deliver much needed carbs after all. It was essentially the medieval equivalent to a balanced breakfast.
So what I've heard is that yes, everything you just read, like I've heard that for a long time because of the fact of it does kind of give you everything. I know it sounds ironic, but the only thing that's kind of a negative to it, I would think, is that like I said, it's the alcohol content, which is the depressant, which slows you down. Because do you notice that if you drink 1 or 2 beers and you like slowly drag them out, like you tire out quickly.
Yeah, it's weird.
Now, if I don't mean like to be a party animal, but when you're just consistently drinking a beer and hanging out and doing your thing, it's fine. But when you just sip on beer like George Washington did, it calms you. It helps you sleep. It helps you do it just kind of gets you back into everything. It's weird. Like I could see why that was a thing all those years ago, because what else do you have?
I think that probably the best like nights of sleep I think I've had before have been nights when I've slowly sipped, and I haven't even thought about it. Like, because actually it may have been the Guinness night, the night, the very first night I had Guinness.
It's a heavy beer, number one, so it's heavy on your stomach, and you have the alcohol, so it's almost like probably the equivalent of like alcohol turkey.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like so that makes really perfect sense, because in the fact of I've done the same thing when you drink alcohol in a respected way, man, sleep is it is really nice. There's a difference between passing out drunk and sleeping because you've had a good night.
You know, one of my favorite things I used to do, which I don't do it much now because my nightly routine has changed as far as like what I watch. But I used to consistently have 1 beer before bed, and I'd watch Good Mythical Morning, and that's it. Yeah. And what I noticed was that I would basically fall asleep and I wouldn't even know it. Like my brain would just shut off at some point. Like, you know, if it was, you know,
and it was just over.
Yeah. If it was like a Willet episode, I would wake up the next morning and go, wait, I didn't get to see the last 2 gross things. I'm like, holy shit, I passed right out. Like, it just, you know, I've done that when it's done right. Right. And that's because everybody thinks it's like, you know, okay, well, it's like you're just slamming beers. It's like, well, number one, okay, yeah, sure, sometimes.
I might be, but it's only 2.
Right. And it's,
you know, and that's the thing is where you find your little spot with that. And you don't mean it as a crutch by any means, but.
No, here's the thing is that it's what I've noticed with my insomnia and and just like how it has affected me, that there has been times when it's just like, when a beer does put me out, it's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
You know, now there are some days I'm just whooped and it's like, whatever. But on the times that I have really struggled to sleep and, you know, it's like, dude, it's like, I want to be able to, you know, just, you know, like calmly fall asleep. Like to me, the best fall asleep ever is the gradual, is that it's like when you're slowly just going, and it's like, and beer does that.
When you're watching something, listening to something.
Yeah.
And you're right. When you're kind of doing one of these things and you're slowly like opening and closing your eyes. Like,
I don't know if it's just because I was just raised in a Baptist church, but I always have that anxiety of like, you know, oh my God, no, I got to stay awake. And then I remember I'm in my room. I'm like, I'm by myself. I don't give a shit.
See, that's why we've talked about this. That's why I like headphones.
Yeah.
It's mine.
Yeah.
It's not yours. It's not everybody else in the house. It's not, you know what I mean? And I can blare it and it's still mine. No matter if it's what I want to jam out to or go to sleep to. Yeah. So that being said, when you find those sounds, it doesn't always have to do with, like you said, being drunk, but when you can find that cool balance of like, I'd like to indulge in a tasteful beer or two.
Yeah.
But it puts you in that good relaxation state. And that's what some of those facts were like talking about, where it was almost kind of like a medicine to a point.
Yeah.
Because it relaxes you. It just lets you get rid of the day. And I know that sounds cliche, but it really is. And again, please don't take this as go binge drink. But
no,
I mean,
I can't,
or that drinking is necessarily good for you. But
well, I mean,
there are some slight benefits.
Well, no, if it's done properly, it's like, this is what I have learned from my good friend Buck is that him and I were talking about, at that time, people in our lives that were abusing things.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I'm like, I don't understand how people just can't have control, over that, because
you don't have an addictive personality.
Well, no, I do. I do have an addictive personality, and it's like, because it's like I was smoking about a pack and a half to 2 packs of cigarettes a day. That is just like, dude, like,
bro, I smoke that much too, and I don't
chewing my nails, sucking my thumb, like all that stuff. Like through my entire life, I've always had something. And it's just like, that is something that is, I'm very, very aware of, and I've gotten control of it, for the most part, but it's nuts to me to, it's wild. It's just wild.
I mean, no, that's nothing to be ashamed of. So
I mean, it's not exactly one of my favorite, traits of me, but in the same hand, I've just learned that, it's like, I can basically, disassociate myself from that and go, okay, I'm done. It's like, I'm done with this.
Sure.
That's good there. And Buck just looked at me and he's like, look, man, everything in moderation.
Yeah.
He's like, if you can't go without something, and if it's something that, is really bad, it's like something that is damaging you, that is like, he's like, if you're a slave
different
to it, he's like, that's a very different thing. He's like, if you can't shut off your want to, essentially, he's like, then that's when you have a problem.
Right.
And that's the thing, is that it's, you may have just drank that entire fishbowl. You don't do that every night. We're talking about beer tonight. It's like, that's the thing, is that
I have to pee so bad. Right. I have to pee so bad.
Well, I mean, we are pushing 42 minutes. You want to be free? You want to unleash the fishbowl?
But no. But I do understand what you're saying.
Fishbowl in your freaking belly.
Yeah, but like, I don't do this every night. And but the thing is that I do drink higher alcohol content beers. Mm-hmm. So I knew that this wasn't going to be, I don't want to say a challenge, but it wasn't going to be that bad. And I don't mean because I just plow through those either. I drink the equivalent of an 8% beer, maybe 2 to 3 of those actual 12-ounce beers a night.
Plus, I mean, not
even every night.
Well, no, but what's the issue of being just like our first president, man? He had a strong alcohol, tolerance. It's like, but he was a very sophisticated, like a very well-rounded man, and he was our president for Pete's Dragon. Like, dude, like, I mean, it's just,
But no, that's the thing, is that I knew that I could do that, because I do sip those higher alcohol content beers, and this was going to be okay. So
yeah.
Yes, I really have to pee. I'm about to start doing the pee dance.
Ooh, but you're sitting down. How can you do a pee dance sitting down? Oh, are you dancing to the music?
Oh, I'm just bouncing.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, I'm going to go ahead and let Eric take his piss. But again, if you are not following us on Spotify, make sure that you are.
Fucking follow.
And if you are not subscribed to us on YouTube,
fucking subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
Fucking notification.
Don't scream at the audience anymore. They're not going to do anything.
No screaming. Sorry.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Later, guys.
I don't know why I said peace out. I'm not a part of the hippie community. Goodbye.
I got mad.